Hello everyone, welcome to the Scumdog's Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and in today's Cryptid Corner mini episode, today we're going to be looking at a couple of cryptid accounts, folks. One, a dogman encounter that took place in Pennsylvania, once again, folks, and another, this gnome that was seen by the witness. Both accounts are very strange, folks, and we're going to have a great time today. Let's get into the first story. Bipedal cryptid canine encounter in Rothrock State Forest, Pennsylvania, shocks hikers. Let's read the opening and get into the full account. Something powerful moved through the trees that afternoon in Rothrock State Forest, stepping out just long enough to confront 6 hikers and trigger one of the most aggressive upright canine reactions ever reported in Pennsylvania. This occurred deep within the region investigators call the Lichen Loop, an area already known for encounters with upright wolves and unexplained activity. What happened next left all 6 witnesses running for their lives and raised unsettling questions about what hunts the ridges above Pine Grove Mills. Let's get into the account now and some of the information that comes with it, folks. Butch Witotsky received a telephone report of a significant aggressive upright canine encounter in Rothrock State Forest Park in Central County, Pennsylvania. Butch was on site the next day, March 31st, and then filed the following account. This incident occurred within the Lichen Loop in Central Pennsylvania. Here are some details about this report. Bipedal report, March 30th, 2019. First case of aggression reported by a bipedal canine in Pennsylvania. Location, Center County, Pennsylvania, Rothrock State Forest. 3 couples hiking in the Rothrock State Forest just outside of Pine Grove Mills, Pennsylvania, encountered a bipedal canine. The couples state that while hiking between 1 p.m. and 1:30 p.m., a large wolf-like creature stepped out of the wooded area near a small clearing. The creature was staring at the group when a female member of the party started screaming. It took 2 or 3 steps toward the group, baring its teeth and growling. All witnesses agreed that the screaming definitely triggered an aggressive movement toward the group. The hikers left the area immediately, running for their lives as they told investigators. The descriptions by all members of the group state that the creature was between 8 and 10 feet tall, with a large wolf's head, yellow eyes, long muscular arms, a massive build, and strange-looking legs. Investigators from the UFO Research Center of Pennsylvania and the Phantoms and Monsters Fortune Research Team met with witnesses and viewed the area of sighting. But no evidence was found. The witnesses were very corroborative, and all descriptions matched. A more invasive investigation of the area is being planned, as past reports have been in the general area of Center County. There's also commentary on the article too, folks, so let's read that now as well. This encounter matches the behavioral pattern repeatedly observed within the Lichen Loop territorial display, reactive aggression, and rapid approach triggered by a perceived challenge or disturbance. The consistent description across all 6 witnesses reinforces credibility, especially the emphasis on yellow eyes, long muscular arms, and non-human leg structure. Notably, this is one of the rare Pennsylvanian cases in which the creature advanced directly toward a group, suggesting either territorial defense or predator-like intimidation. This incident also aligns with previous Center County reports involving massive wolf-like bipeds exhibiting coordinated movement and heightened awareness of human presence. Given the size, morphology, and repeated sightings in the region, possibilities include a cryptid canid species, an ultra-terrestrial biological form, or an interdimensional predator capable of brief incursions into physical space. So, what was this entity, folks, and why was it there? Could it have been that it wanted these people to see it, but it didn't expect them to start screaming and losing their minds, and this triggered some sort of aggressive behavior, folks? Or was this all part of the plan? It was going to get aggressive anyway because, well, dogmen are known for basically being aggressive and basically growling at people, folks, at least in the accounts I've read about. At least somewhat. Usually these accounts involve the creature just growling at the person, but beyond that, much like Bigfoot, they try to escape the area. But this time, folks, do you think that this was, a planned, sighting by the entity here? Or was it all just a coincidence that these people came upon this entity and they all just met up and this creature basically reacted very poorly to these people's presence and their reactions? Either way, truly astounding story, folks. But let's move on to the next one. and read this article now. Salina, Kansas gnome encounter that refuses to fade. Could this be a real Lang entity? Let's read this encounter with this gnome-like being, folks, and see if it might be an encounter with an ultra-terrestrial. Let's get into the opening and then read the full account. A Kansas cyclist never expected that a quiet August morning ride would collide with a being straight out of a folklore and extraterrestrial, lore. What he witnessed while sprinting across a residential street has left unanswered questions more than 20 years later. Let's get into the full account now, as I said earlier, folks. I live in Salina, Kansas. This sighting took place in late August 2004, just after 6 o'clock a.m. I typically rode my mountain bike for exercise, and that day was no different. About 30 seconds after turning onto the last section of residential street on my route, I saw something run into the street about 25 to 30 feet in front of me. The entity was sprinting as if its life depended on it, as if something was chasing it. It came from the yard on the east side of the street, crossed the street in full sprint, and entered the yard on the west side. The sighting lasted about 5 seconds. This entity was bipedal, approximately 1 to 1.5 feet tall, and wore an earthy, greenish-brown hooded cloak. The only visible features were its ankles and feet, both of which were also clad in the same greenish-brown color. Once it entered the grass, it visibly disappeared as if the cloak's color shifted to match the grass. That's very odd, folks. It sounds like it resembles both, the Lord of the Rings, elven cloaks that were given to Frodo and his, companions that could allow you to blend in, as well with basically these small dwarfish creatures from basically the Phantasm movies, folks. So, very interesting. Let's continue with this article now. My first thought was gnome. However, rational thinking told me that gnomes don't exist. Of course you would think that, folks, because that's what they want to program us to think, folks. But then again, that still doesn't explain these sightings with these gnomish beings, does it, folks? And no matter how much you don't believe in them, they apparently do. So let's continue with the article. I was confused and chose never to tell anyone about the sighting, fearing harassment or ridicule. To this day, I have never shared it with anyone. I didn't report it sooner because I didn't know where to file it. From time to time, I would have flashbacks about the sighting, but for the most part, I forgot about it. Then last week, I came across a video on YouTube titled Alien Races A through Z. In my What to Watch list, after watching it, I saw that the second part listed a race named Lang. It featured images of 2 pointy-eared human-like entities, and instantly I had a flashback of my encounter and exclaimed, "That's it! That's what I saw!" I then searched the internet for alien race Lang and discovered that the Lang are associated with elven folklore and are said to be about 70 centimeters tall, roughly 2 feet R. So, is it possible that maybe these encounters with ultra-terrestrials are actually encounters with alien beings, folks? It's said that basically elves and fairies have been here for, thousands of years, so maybe they are aliens, folks, or maybe they're a race that's evolved alongside of us. So, there's that possibility too, folks. And is there any real difference between basically an elf and an alien being, considering the abilities both entities are purported to possess, basically disappearing and reappearing at will? I don't really think so, folks. Even if it's magic or it's some sort of science beyond human understanding, it's pretty much the same thing, isn't it, folks? So that is surely an interesting account that we just read here from the witness, folks. So what was this entity, folks? Was it a real fairy, a gnome, literally out of myth and legend, or was it a member of the Lang, an alien species that came here and was visiting? Well, I would say both could basically be equally right, folks. Because if the Lang have colonized the Earth, folks, and they have some sort of civilization under the Earth, I would not be surprised if members of their species visit from space, folks, and, interact with their fellows here, and people occasionally witness them. So maybe that's definitely a possibility. Either way, both accounts detail encounters with dogmen and, these fairy-like entities, folks, and maybe they're real. Either way, we're at the end, folks, so please go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read comics, they're bad for you. You can use the YouTube link down below in the description so the chat. 2, go subscribe to me. Hit that like button for me. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave some comments down below. Hit that bell for notifications. Hit the part of the bell that'll give you all future notifications. And please share this video out. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great video, so be sure to come back again then. Till next time, folks, I'll see you all again. I'll see you all again, hopefully, very soon.